When the ancient Greeks were coming up with the golden ratio to try and quantify beauty, they obviously took a look at NieR and went, you know what, that's pretty much it, to be honest. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Job done, really. Now, regardless of whether or not you like or agree with the ancient Greeks, I think we can all agree that their opinion is not an opinion, it's objective fact. I mean, that new rendition that they've got of Song of the Ancients that they put in the trailer was just pretty good. And, you know, something that I really liked as well is the cover art that they had. And I like how they have it where the cover art can be flipped. So in Japan, they have one cover art that they get, and then in the West we'll have a different one, but you can just, if you buy the physical version anyway, you can just, you know, take it out and flip it around, like how Mass Effect did it with Mass Effect 3, where they had FemShep on the other side, and I quite like that. More games should do something like that. You know, it's just one of those nice little cool things. It's like, rather than it just being a blank white cover on the back of something, it's more artwork, you know, gives it a bit of variety. As I was watching the little panel and stuff that they did, showcasing Replicant, it did occur to me that there are a lot of people who have played Automata, and I have to get used to saying Automata rather than Automata. I don't like it, but fuck it, I have to do it. But I realized there's a lot of people who have played Automata, and they've probably, you know, never played Gestalt or Replicant, probably even less likely they played Replicant, and they're just wondering, you know, well, I heard that the gameplay in the first NieR game wasn't all that great, and one of the biggest selling points of Automata was its gameplay. Well, that and 2B's ass, because, you know, a lot of people might be curious whether or not Replicant's really gonna live up to, you know, the hype that some people seem to have with it. Well, I'll tell you this. If you've seen the gameplay for Replicant, you can see that it doesn't look like the old version of the gameplay that we had with the original NieR game. Okay, they've updated it for sure, so now it looks a lot more fluid, a lot smoother. Obviously, you could play the original game and enjoy the game, but a lot of people know that Yoko Taro's older games, the biggest downfall of them was their mechanics. That was the biggest issue of them. Technically, they were not really hitting the right notes. When it came to story and characters, well, your mileage may vary, but that was what really sold most people on those games. The gameplay was just the part where it was kind of falling flat. So now that they've fixed the gameplay for Replicant, there's absolutely no reason you shouldn't enjoy this game as much as Automata. If they had just been porting the original game over with no updates to the gameplay, which is what I was worried they would do, yeah, I was concerned that people would play it and be pissed, because they rightly would be. They'd be like, well, I played some smooth, buttery gameplay in Automata, and now I'm getting this janky ass shit, what's going on? And you'd be very, you know, right in thinking that way. But because they've improved the gameplay, you won't have that issue. Replicant already has a story that people love. It already has a soundtrack that almost everybody who's listened to it loves. And now its gameplay, the one thing that was a fault and the one thing that made the game tedious to play, especially when you had to get all the endings by collecting all the weapons and stuff, you know, that was just, it was a bit painful. You know, let's be honest, it was a bit painful sometimes. But now that that's all gonna be fixed and smoothened out, there's not really much to not like here. I actually think some people who played Automata, I actually think some of you guys might enjoy Replicant more. Story-wise anyway, because Automata, as much as I love the game, the story of it isn't the most relatable. It's very, you know, big picture in a sense. It's a lot more existential, but because we're getting Replicant rather than Gestalt, you're going to be playing as Brother NieR, and so you're going to be trying to look after and save your younger sister Yona. And that's just a more personal and relatable type of narrative than being an android fighting in a never-ending war that you don't understand against aliens. And again, I love Automata. I personally love philosophy and all the kinds of questions and all the stuff that it had in it. So it was 100% up my alley. But I'm just saying, there are a lot of people who liked Automata just because of the gameplay and thought, yeah, the story's alright, but whatever. And maybe for some of those people who didn't care so much for the story, this time with Replicant, you might actually find you enjoy both a bit more, just because the story of Replicant is, in my personal opinion, a bit more down to earth than in Automata. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a better story. It's just, I think for certain people who maybe didn't really connect with Automata's story, you're going to maybe be able to connect with Replicant's a bit better. You also get to see Emil and his origins and where he came from before he became the iconic skull-faced character that we all know now. And you'll get to see my personal favorite character from the Yokoverse, which is Kane. And A2, who was my favorite character in Automata. If you liked her, then you're gonna definitely love Kane, mate. You're gonna love her. If you enjoyed the music in Automata, then you'll enjoy the music in Replicant. If you enjoyed the gameplay in Automata, you're gonna most likely enjoy the gameplay in Replicant, because it seems they've made the gameplay a lot closer to Automata than it was to the original NieR game. And if you liked Yoko Taro's eccentric storytelling, his multiple endings, you're gonna get all of that in this game as well. Hopefully we've got all 5 endings in the game this time, rather than just up to ending D, because ending E was something that was only accessible as supplementary material. You had to go and get it after the fact. It wasn't something that was part of the actual game. So hopefully ending E's in the game, but even if it isn't, at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't really matter. The game as it was a full experience, and it was really good, and a lot of you are going to enjoy it. Now, I'm sure there's some people who have played Automata and are looking at Replicant and like, yeah, alright mate, that looks cool and everything, but where's the 2 booty? Where is it? I'm noticing an awful lack of booty in this game, and I'm not feeling it. So what's going on there? Is there going to be booty in this game? And well, truth be told, mate, I don't think so. Certainly not to the same extent, yeah. But then again, I mean, I don't know. Take a look at Brother NieR, and I don't know. You know, I'm sure some of you might find something there. I'm not. I don't know. I mean, Kane's there, but Kane's not really. You know, Kane's got a few tricks up her. Few tricks. Anyway, so if you guys have anything you want to say, if you got any comments or any thoughts yourself, if you're excited or interested in NieR Replicant, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like, of course, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe for future videos. And anyway, that's all I've got to say, and I'm out. Peace.